Y'all, Gypsy Rose Blanchard went live today. And child, y'all gotta see this.
I think it was heartbreaking to kind of watch all these people just kind of like go bananas trying to buy my account, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. Or at least we can get in trouble for it anyway. So I mean, yeah, it was crazy. I was watching him go live from my account, trying to ask people for money. I'm like, Lord have mercy.
The drama unfolding between beauty influencer Nina and Gypsy Rose Blanchard is lighting up the internet, with each twist leaving fans and critics glued to their screens. But this isn't just a case of clashing personalities. This feud is a tangled web of accusations, strategic power plays, and alleged attempts to silence dissent. Let's break down the layers of this explosive controversy and dive into what's fueling the fire on both sides. Nina, a respected beauty influencer renowned for her fearless and opinionated content, recently dropped a bombshell that has sent shockwaves through the online community. She claims Gypsy Rose Blanchard, infamous for her highly publicized life story, and her stepmother, Christy Blanchard, have launched a campaign to tarnish her reputation and suppress her voice. But what's at the root of these allegations? According to Nina, her videos are not personal attacks. They're fact-based critiques that challenge Gypsy's carefully constructed narrative. In her latest revelations, Nina presented a jaw-dropping email from an anonymous source claiming to have overheard Christy allegedly plotting against her during a live stream. The accusations don't stop there. Nina insists that Christy and Gypsy have been systematically strategizing to discredit her and escalate their efforts to silence her platform. These alleged actions, Nina argues, aren't reactive. They're part of a calculated campaign to undermine her credibility and shield Gypsy from scrutiny. What makes this saga even more compelling is the level of detail Nina has shared. She maintains that her critiques are evidence-based and aimed at holding Gypsy accountable for inconsistencies in her public narrative. Nina's stance is that she's doing what many other creators have done, questioning the storyline Gypsy has spent years cultivating. Yet, according to Nina, the Blanchards' alleged fixation on her specifically sets this feud apart. Before we continue on with the video, if you're loving the tea, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. Like this video if you're vibing with the story, and share it with your friends. Your support keeps us spilling the hottest celebrity gossip just for you.
Do y'all remember a couple of months ago, I made a post because I received an email from someone that lives in Christy's area. And they said that Christy Blanchard was intentionally looking to take me down. And around that time, a lot of my videos were getting flagged and taken down, and I was appealing them and they would go back up. And then like everyone on social media was like really speaking about me really badly. And then Gypsy started doing like little sly videos saying little sly stuff. And they were really, really coming after me hard. But I ended up getting an email where someone was just explaining how they were trying to take me down. Like that's been a big topic of discussion. They've been trying to get me taken down on YouTube, TikTok, and it's been a failure. They've even tried to dig up, my any criminal record, which I don't have. And they have tried really, really hard to do everything that they could to take me down. And then it started to die down because I think after a certain amount of time, if someone constantly reporting you on TikTok, they kind of like let it go because they know it's like somebody messing with you or whatever.
Why is there such a relentless focus on discrediting Nina? If her claims are so unfounded, why waste so much energy trying to silence her? At the heart of this feud lies one undeniable fact. Nina's only crime is speaking out about Gypsy and refusing to let the carefully constructed narrative remain unchallenged. Nina herself has voiced her frustration with the irony of the situation. She insists her observations aren't baseless attacks, but are grounded in thorough research. Yet, instead of addressing her claims or offering explanations, the Blanchards seem determined to shut her down entirely. This raises even more doubts about the authenticity of their public image. But here's where things get even juicier. Nina recently revealed that Gypsy allegedly ran a background check on her, hoping to uncover dirt that could ruin her credibility. The twist: Nina's record is squeaky clean, leaving Gypsy empty-handed. The irony is striking. An ex-criminal digging into someone else's past to tarnish their reputation. It's a despairing move that underscores just how far Gypsy might go to silence her criticizers.
Well, someone told me this morning in an email that they were on someone's live and someone had said that Christy said she was trying to take me down or they were going to really ramp it up this year because creators are basically ruining Gypsy's life. But after that live the other day, I actually think that them saying that is actually true because That live, them trying to villainize me in that live, specifically just me, I think is very interesting. And that live just seemed very interesting that I was the topic of discussion. But what I think is very interesting is the more they speak about me, is the more people come to my pages to try to figure out who I am and what I'm about. And once they realize who I am and what I'm about, they realize that Gypsy and them are tripping.
Gypsy's latest alleged moves have left jaws dropping, and not in a good way. According to Nina, what might have seemed like a petty jab on the surface was actually part of a calculated campaign to bring her down. Gypsy, it seems, wasn't just content with one-off remarks or isolated actions. Instead, she allegedly launched a full-blown effort to dig up or even fabricate flaws in Nina's otherwise spotless reputation. The drama escalates when you consider the glaring contrast between the two. Nina, known for maintaining a pristine record, now finds herself targeted by someone with a criminal past. The irony is almost too much to bear. A convicted individual reportedly going to such lengths to find dirt on someone who's widely respected. It's a move that reeks not just of desperation, but also raises some serious questions about Gypsy's priorities and intents. Why is Gypsy so fixated on Nina? Is this about revenge, jealousy, or something deeper?
No, I'm not going to show her. No, I made a choice a long time ago that I wasn't going to show her on social media. It's to respect her privacy. We're trying to keep her as private as we possibly can. I said a long time ago, I'm not going to try to be a mommy influencer. I'm not going to try and post about her. That's just, I'm a new mom. I'm protective of her. And there's just a lot of creeps out there. So it's just the best for her to keep her out of it. But I can tell you, she is a beautiful baby girl. She is healthy. She has a head full of hair. She's so beautiful. I think she has my eyes. I think she has my eyes, but can smile. Like her little mouth looks like that a lot. I'm not nursing, unfortunately. I did produce colostrum, so I was feeding her colostrum while in the hospital. But my milk never came in. Like my milk supply, everybody was like, "Your milk will come in a few days." And I pumped it. I was able to get a drop, and that's about it. So we're formula feeding her. And it's okay because as long as she's fed, that's all that matters. So, but I did try to breastfeed first.
Imagine speaking out against a powerful narrative, only to find yourself at the center of a calculated campaign to silence you. That's exactly the nightmare Nina claims she's living through as the feud between her and Christy Blanchard's camp takes an even darker turn. From flagged videos to lost employment, the lengths allegedly taken to shut her down are nothing short of alarming. Nina's story paints a chilling picture of someone more focused on controlling her past's narrative than rebuilding her own life. But the conflict between her and Christy Blanchard doesn't stop there. Months ago, Nina reportedly received an email from someone in Christy's area, warning her that the Blanchards were allegedly targeting her. This tip-off described coordinated efforts to tarnish Nina's reputation both online and offline. Around the same time, Nina's videos were repeatedly flagged and removed from platforms like YouTube and TikTok. Although she successfully appealed these takedowns, the sheer frequency of the incidents sent a clear message. Someone was actively working to silence her. The situation grew more unsettling as evidence mounted. Flagged videos, alleged background checks, and rallying others to join the campaign against Nina suggest a level of orchestration far beyond simple disagreements. This wasn't just a clash of opinions, it was a targeted effort to discredit one of the few voices willing to challenge the carefully curated image of Rose Blanchard. The attacks didn't stop in the digital world. Bree reportedly called one of Nina's former employees and accused her of bullying Gypsy Blanchard online. Coming from someone associated with such a high-profile case, the accusation carried significant weight and ultimately cost Nina her job. Initially, she hoped the rumors were exaggerated, but that hope was shattered when Bree went live on social media, openly bragging about orchestrating Nina's termination. This live-streamed admission left no room for interpretation. Bree took pride in her actions, flaunting the devastating impact they had on Nina.
You know we love a good spin-a-block story, right? Before we spin a block, let's talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Bree's relationship. We know Gypsy only uses people she doesn't like them. And Bree thinks she's a writer, all because I think Bree wants fame. Oh my. Anyway, Gypsy is notorious for using her friends and tossing them to the side. But a lot of people don't know about Rachel Garlick. But we're going to spin a block on Rachel Garlick's story now. And y'all tell me what you...
But what really set the internet ablaze was Gypsy's reaction to Nina's recent misfortune. Instead of showing remorse or taking a step back from the situation, Gypsy appeared to revel in it. When a commenter mocked Nina's unemployment in a post, Gypsy's response was a string of celebratory clapping emojis, an unapologetically vindictive move that left many stunned. This reaction didn't just fan the flames. It painted a troubling picture of Gypsy's mindset, raising questions about her empathy and her willingness to engage in spiteful tactics. Nina's firing marked a turning point in this feud, exposing just how far Gypsy and her allies were willing to go. This wasn't just about silencing an online critic, it was a calculated strike at Nina's livelihood. So why is Gypsy so deeply invested in dismantling Nina's career? The answer may lie in the inconvenient truths Nina was uncovering about Gypsy's past. Nina's content boldly challenged the carefully curated narrative of Gypsy as a helpless victim. Instead, she presented evidence suggesting that Gypsy's actions were premeditated and avoidable. By peeling back layers of the sympathetic image Gypsy had cultivated, Nina shone a spotlight on inconsistencies in her story, especially the claim that she had no choice but to take drastic action against her mother. When Gypsy was released from prison, many rallied around her, viewing her as a survivor of unimaginable abuse. The media amplified this narrative, portraying her as a victim of circumstance. But Nina dared to question that portrayal, arguing that Gypsy's mother, D.D. Blanchard, was already frail and sick at the time. Nina pointed out that if escape had truly been the goal, there were other options available, seeking help from authorities or support networks, for instance, without resorting to such extreme measures. By targeting Nina's job, Gypsy and her supporters seem intent on silencing a voice willing to dig deeper and challenge the story they've worked so hard to uphold. As the layers continue to unravel, it's clear this feud is about more than just personal grievances. It's about control over the narrative and the lengths people will go to protect their version of the truth.
One thing that I think is very, very abundantly obvious is that Gypsy is disassociating herself from the crime that she committed. And she feels like either she picked herself or she picked her mom. She's not being honest with the fact that her mom was very sickly at the time that she had her unalived. She's not being honest with the fact that she was in imminent danger, and at that point, she could have walked out the door. I think a lot of people really aren't realizing she's 23. She was 23 years old, and she's now 32 years old. This interview was so dishonest. Furthermore, where she says the only perfect victim in people's eyes are the ones that are not alive. No. The perfect victims are the ones that didn't unalive their mom and then make up stories and villainize their mom. She has disassociated herself from this crime so far, and I'm kind of disappointed in Good Morning America that they felt like this was.
What if everything you thought you knew about Gypsy Rose Blanchard's story wasn't the full truth? While Gypsy alleged that these procedures stemmed from her mother's Munchausen by proxy abuse, a condition where caregivers fabricate or induce illness, Nina's research suggests a more complicated narrative. She uncovered evidence that many of these surgeries were, in fact, justified due to Gypsy's chromosomal disorder and related health issues. By presenting this counter-narrative, Nina has disrupted the mainstream portrayal of Gypsy as a pure victim. Her revelations have sparked heated debates, forcing many to reconsider the story they once accepted without question. Unsurprisingly, this bold stance has drawn intense backlash. Critics accuse Nina of being overly harsh, while her supporters praise her bravery in presenting uncomfortable truths. As her work gains traction, it has encouraged others to scrutinize Gypsy's actions and motives, peeling back the layers of a carefully curated victim narrative.
If you've followed my content for any span of time, you know that I've always wanted justice for Nicholas Godejohn. And what exactly would be justice for Nicholas Godejohn is that he would have had or could have a fair trial, and he can have some sort of fairness. I want to spin a block on that because I feel as though sometimes people need a reminder um, about the fact that he is a victim as well. And yes, Didi does need to get justice. Um, but at the end of the day, Nick needs justice as well. Um, and simply because A, he thought he was saving her, and B, um, she manipulated him, right? And I think in the long run, it's really truly not just about Nicholas. It's just about um, people taking advantage.
But why is Nina facing so much heat when other creators have covered similar topics? Is it because her content resonates more deeply, exposing cracks in Gypsy's polished image? Or is something darker at play, like racial bias? Nina's followers have pointed out that much of the targeted harassment she's endured, including racially insensitive mockery from fake accounts, hints at an insidious attempt not just to silence her but to humiliate her. Offensive caricatures and relentless trolling suggest a coordinated effort to discredit her voice. And then there's the Blanchards' alleged involvement. If Nina's claims were baseless, why would they go to such lengths to silence her? Reports of employers being contacted, fake accounts flagged, and videos taken down paint a troubling picture of desperation. The Blanchards' fixation on Nina, while seemingly ignoring other critics, suggests her revelations hit closer to home than they're willing to admit. Adding fuel to the fire is Christy Blanchard's role in the post-incarceration narrative. Instead of fostering Gypsy's rehabilitation and accountability, Christy seems more focused on managing her daughter's public image and potential earnings. From interviews to media deals, observers speculate that Christy's motives are less about maternal love and more about financial gain. This has raised eyebrows about where Gypsy's earnings are going and who's benefiting most. Nina's spotlight on these dynamics has undoubtedly rattled the Blanchards. Her meticulous collection of receipts, screenshots, and timelines exposes not just their attempts to silence her, but also their potential financial interests in maintaining the status quo. Armed with facts and a legal team on standby, Nina has proven she's not backing down.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bree was the one who reported Gypsy to her parole officer to create a whole storyline, because why is this like this? Like, all of a sudden, Bree inserted herself in a situation and created this whole problem, and she's now outing the fire. That's normally the people that started. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Bree is not trustworthy, and I think she has showed her hand. And yeah, and her affiliation is through Gypsy's stepmom, and that says a lot. All of this just seems real fishy, real fishy. As far as this whole situation, I don't have nothing else to say. Yo, I'm not going to show my hand yet. There's a lot that I know, but I'm going to kind of wait for it to play out so that I can speak on it. Because, yeah, nothing is never, ever what it seems. That I do know for sure. And I don't think anyone in this situation is trustworthy, honestly.
Her determination has inspired her audience, empowering others who faced similar harassment while solidifying her credibility in this feud. So, will this battle escalate to legal action? Or will the Blanchards' efforts to control the narrative backfire, amplifying Nina's voice instead? And what does this saga reveal about Gypsy's true character and the people in her corner? Let's discuss in the comments. Do you think Nina's claims hold weight? Why are the Blanchards so threatened by her? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this unfolding drama.